I am dying. We dragons live a long time, but even we must face death when the time comes. But even as I lay here dying, I am not afraid. I have lived a good life. I have gone through joy and sorrow. I have folks waiting for me when I finally die. Until then, I just think about the memories of those I loved. The memories of my friends. Every pony knew of Twilight and her friends, the elements of harmony, ambassadors of friendship, the main six. They were heroes. But sometimes ponies forgot they were just ponies. They had lives of their own, which included living out their dreams, making new friends, and falling in love. It was a surprise to all of us, Fluttershy included, when she started dating Soren, but the two very much loved each other. It didn't take long for them to get married and settle down in her cottage. A year into their marriage, Fluttershy was with a foal. She never seemed so happy. We were all so happy. But not all happy moments end that way. Soren said she had just enough time to see her daughter before she was gone. Every pony cried the day we said goodbye. All of Equestria mourned. It wasn't just a hero we lost. We lost a sister. We lost a caretaker. We lost a wife and a mother. Yet while Fluttershy left us, she left behind a legacy of kindness and friendship, and it carried over to her daughter. Gale Flower was like her mother in so many ways. She was kind, beautiful, and loved animals. Yet she still shared traits with her father. She wasn't afraid to be rough or fly fast. Gale was a huge part of my life. Originally, she was just the filly I babysat. Then she became my best friend, and the pony I loved most in this world. But that's a story for another time. Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash weren't the only fillyhood friends. Rarity and Applejack had known each other for a long time, growing up. Of course, the two were more opposite than night and day. They were always annoying each other and getting even, sometimes with insults, other times with pranks. At first, you might think they hated each other. In truth, it was just the way they behaved as friends. They were always there for each other when they needed comfort. They were always there when they needed to be defended. And even when they got older, some things remained the same. Little did Applejack or Rarity know, something was growing between them that was more than just friendship. I think, it was around Colorature's birthday party. She wanted to celebrate it with Applejack and Ponyville since they were friends. Rarity didn't know where her feelings came from, but she had them deep inside for so long that seeing Applejack and Colorature so close, she just couldn't take it anymore. We all split up to find her, but it was Applejack who found her first. When Applejack asked what was wrong and why she was sad.
Why can't you look at me the way you look at her? Why can't I be your rah-rah? Why can't you look at me the way I look at you? Applejack, I love...
That night, we celebrated Rah-Rah's birthday and a new couple. Soon, Rarity and Applejack did everything together. They went on dates and showed how much they loved one another. They helped each other through difficult times. They took vows to be together forever. They adopted children and raised them with love and attention. Even when they got older, their love never diminished. Even in death, they were together. Now and for eternity. All Rainbow Dash ever wanted to be when she grew up was a Wonderbolt. She eventually became one, and the rest of us couldn't be more proud. She was a natural right from the start. She was loved by her fans, and her fellow Flyers treated her like family. However, that all changed after the assassination of Princess Celestia and Princess Luna. On that day, a nation mourned, but also a nation demanded justice. The war was brutal. Hatred between us was so great a Wendigo could overstuff himself. We all played a part in the war. There was no greater warrior than Dash. For every soldier we lost, Rainbow made them lose 10 in return. She was in her element and became known as the Spectrum Warrior of Victory. With Twilight's strategy, my leadership, and Dash's strength, we were able to do well in the war. We lost a lot of good ponies, a lot of good friends. Yet Dash stayed strong. The turn of the tide came when rebel changelings, wishing to end the tyrannical rule of Queen Chrysalis, joined us. Although many disagreed with the idea, Twilight was willing to give them a chance, and she had a plan to end the war with their help. Twilight, with the help of the rebel changelings, orchestrated a fake assassination on me, Rainbow Dash, and herself. Word quickly spread that we were dead, and our army was surrendering to Chrysalis. We hoped she would come to gloat. Sure enough, she came. Queen Chrysalis was overjoyed to see our corpses, and believed that with us gone, Equestria was hers for the taking. When her guard was down, we struck. It was a tough battle, one of the toughest I ever faced. In the end, the Changeling Queen was slain. Princesses had been avenged. The war was over, but Rainbow Dash paid a price for it. Rainbow Dash lost one of her wings. While a metal one allowed her to fly, she would never fly as fast as she once was. However, she would never leave the Wonderbolts. A flesh wound, she called it. She might not perform as well, but she could teach others how to be great. She was tough, but fair, yet she cared for her students. She made sure they could fly, and each of them became better and better each day. She taught generation after generation. She had no spouse, nor any foals when she passed away. The Wonderbolts and her students were her family. Even to this day, she is revered as a hero, a legend. When Fluttershy died, it devastated all of us. Discord, unable to take the pain of losing his only friend, turned himself into a statue. Princess Luna says he sleeps and dreams of him and Fluttershy together. To this day, he remains a statue. The worst of it was the Black Plague, as it was soon called. A disease that spread like wildfire, infecting half of Equestria. Any victim had a 60% chance of dying. Many had died, including Pinkie Pie. If this would be the end of any other pony, this would be the end. But Pinkie Pie was no ordinary pony. She had a habit of doing the impossible, such as challenging death himself. According to Pinkie, she made a bet with death that if she could make him laugh, then she would get her life back. Otherwise, she'd be sent to heaven. Death agreed. She did every joke she knew, tried every silly dance she could think of. She even did every party technique she knew, but Death wouldn't crack a smile. After what seemed like days, Pinkie gave up. After getting suited up, Pinkie was prepared to go, when suddenly... And just like that, Pinkie made Death laugh. As it was agreed, Death allowed Pinkie to return to the land of the living. She told Death to smile more, that she would see him again.
Hi, every pony.
Needless to say, that was the biggest surprise Pinkie ever gave us. Shortly after her near-death experience, Pinkie started a new company with Twilight's help, the Give a Laugh Foundation, dedicated to making sick or dying ponies laugh no matter what. It was a big hit. Ponies joined the organization in flocks, all to help those who needed a laugh in the darkest of times. The organization exists long after Pinkie Pie. Her many descendants still run it, many of whom are also named Pinkie Pie. She was determined to have more foals than the rest of us combined. But you can't escape death twice. She was the last of our friends to go, but she died with a smile. Despite knowing she would die soon, Pinkie was happy. She was going to meet those who passed on already and lived a full life. She didn't fear death. She treated him like an old friend.